So, I guess a very quick radio check. We are ready. It's going. We're good. With 18 drivers on the grid today for the PlayStation debut drivers race, which was the first time happening last season, the season 6, with the Belgian Grand Prix on this platform and British Grand Prix on PC. This race is kind of checking if the drivers can keep it clean on track, especially the new ones, because this is for debut drivers, this is for new drivers, as you might guess. Well, this time we have Austrian Grand Prix for both platforms, which means we're about to start right now. Well, I'll be switching the screens very time soon, so don't worry about it. We're about to race in the Austrian Grand Prix. I will introduce it to the entire grid today and have fun, as Antoni said in the chat. Hello everyone on the stream. It's the owner of owners, or just an owner, or just whatever. Continue. We're switching to the screen of the live stream. As you can see, loading is complete, so we are just waiting for the lobby to actually start. As you can see, we have to wait for it, but we should be within the seconds. If anything happens, like we must restart it, then we'll do so. But I can see it's clear, dry weather here in Spielberg, here in the Red Bull Ring, here in the city or town of Judenburg, actually. 18 drivers on the grid, couple of different nationalities. As you can see, we've got plenty of those on the grid today. What is predicted P1 quality time, in my opinion? Well, I guess we'll be on the force, 1/4. I wouldn't expect freeze though, but the fours are very much possible. So, quickly looking at the starting grid today, we've got drivers from all the profiles. We've got no assist drivers like Antonio Ginski from McLaren, Mr. MotoGP, or where's that guy in the first place? Sleepy Jimmy, who is Mehmet Duranovic. He is racing with no assist as well. We've got also line-only users like Mohamed Zurup and the Alpha Tauri, or Aldrich Alfvist, who is Jonas Plen, racing in the Williams. There are also drivers who are using less assist, more assist. It depends on them, actually. But with this grid, we shall be getting a very good and a clean race. Well, let me just casually adjust the sound settings, because as you can hear, it's a bit too loud. Now it's all good. As looking at the chat, we've got 3.7 as the predicted pole time by Luke Mills in the chat. We've got first drivers on the hot laps, and the first one is Jonas Plen, racing in the Williams. About the circuit of the Spielberg, as you can see, there's a huge blocking by a Mercedes, and I think that might have been, yep, it isn't quite fault. It's Ludwig Stabek who has done a little bit of blocking, but he's on the hot lap as well, so it might just be a very slow lap or abandoning from it, as Aldrich looks like he's got a little bit of lagging, like not little. Not a very big one. I'm also turning on the telemetry, so you can see the entire data from point of view. as we've got the first fastest lap. Henry Helkala is making a 4.6, so we're currently in the fourth. We're 1 second ahead from, we're 1 second behind for the prediction of Alphatic in the chat. But continuing, as we are on the debut drivers race, quickly about the circuit. Spielberg, or actually Red Bull Ring, is owned by Red Bull and is one of the fastest tracks and the entire calendar, as well as the shortest with 4.3 kilometers and just 10 turns, most of them being mid to high speed on the 4th or 5th year. This circuit is, well, you guessed it, very strong for the Red Bulls, as Max Verstappen has won twice on the circuit this season and last season, and in 2020 it wasn't the Red Bulls, it was Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. 2019 belonged to Red Bull as Max Verstappen has won the race, same as 2018. So this is a very strong circuit for the Austrian team, and we'll see if it repeats in the game. Zitze has not done a lap yet, as Zsolt Procházka still is in the pits. As you can see, Jonas has been disconnected and Zitze goes to the pits, so he will abandon from his lap, will put on new soft tires and get it going again. We'll see also the tires of drivers who have made the laps, as Paul Jacobsen has gone on mediums. Which means, well, there was rain in the PC debut drivers race, but we don't have any weather predictions yet, and I must ask for them. I'll ask for the weather conditions, as Milberg goes for 4.4. Tony Millis has done a very decent lap, as he has been outscored by Antonio Ogiński here in McLaren with 4.0. Definitely looking for that race win today. Well, in terms of recruitment standings, this race, or actually the race win, is worth 5 points, so it's still something. But he's been outscored by Mohamed Zurab, who's gone 3.996, so we're closing that 3.6 predicted in the chat. Anyways, as we've got Mehmet Duranovic 5.2, but I think he's about to improve his lap time. I think he can do it a bit better. As you can see, he's 57 thousandths of a second up already in the first sector. Next one to follow is not the Williams, but I can see an Alpine going to the pits. Tony Millis goes into the pits. Ludwig Stahlberg is on the way to finish his lap, or actually start the other one. 4.9 at the moment. Ah, thank you, Loki. Very big thank you for calling me a noob. Or, I don't know who you are calling a noob. But okay. As Mehmet is right behind Mohamed. And to the last corner, he might get a little bit of slipstream. He's 44 thousandths of a second up comparing to his previous lap. Following Kieran Underwood, I guess. Yep, it is Kieran Underwood here in Williams. He's on the soft tires. He's put the mediums on, but he has decided to change the compound and he's now on the red stripe tires. The start will be on Inters, so we've got the weather report as we are starting the race on the intermediate tires. So this rain is going to be rain affected. It's on the chat. You can see Mr. MotoGP has just written that. First 10 to 15 minutes are going to have rain including on the racetrack, and we've got loads of history including rain weather in this on this track on the Spielberg. For example, last season, where the rain affected the race around lap 20. Drake Dempsey's gone onto the Inter tires. We're speaking obviously about the F1 division on PlayStation, who has decided to stay out on the mediums that at the finish line were 26 laps old. And it was going very well for Drake. It looked like he's going to clearly win the race. But around lap 30, it started to dry up with 13 seconds of an advantage from Drake. And what happened afterwards? Gull did not start gaining a lot instantly, but around lap 34 he was 6 seconds behind, and he has regained all of that within the race distance. And on the last corner of the last lap, he's overtaken his championship rival onto on the inside and got that race win out of hands from the Americans. So definitely rain can shake up the standings a little bit, or even not a little bit. Okay, I'd rather not respond to what I see on the chat. Well, I've seen this guy a couple of times in the lobbies, and you know what he was doing. Speaking about the F1 Wrecking Ball, the legend actually of the unranked lobbies. But I think we may miss the results of the current qualifying session, as Bohemian, I thought he's gone wide, but he isn't. He's kept it on track. He keeps going, and he's about to cross the line with 4.8 seconds, which puts him down into 10. Well, as you know, first 10 to 15 minutes of this race are going to be affected by the rain and Inter tires. So the only choice in terms of qualifying strategy is soft tires, because you're starting on Inters anyway, and then you might go onto mediums, onto hards, if you can try it, or twice softs. Well, we'll see. We've got the safety car on, but only on the reduced setting. As Wojciech goes back into the pits, we will be going with Mehmet Duranovic in the Haas, as this is one of the no-assist drivers looking for that seat in the ERO F1 division. Already a 10th up, as he's got DRS as usual on the third DRS zone. Turning right into turn 4. This is the place where loads of incidents happened, especially in the real Formula 1, like pushing off the track made by Sergio Perez, here as well, or very well known Alex Albon Lewis Hamilton incident back in 2020. This place has got loads of history, once again I'll say that, and both real life and ERO. As I've seen somebody improving, and it's, I guess, well, I will not take a guess, but it's definitely Tony Millis improving to get 1.4.0, and into the second place he goes. Mehmet Duranovic goes still 13th, and he isn't looking like to improve his lap time, but he's doing it around again. Now he's a 10th up. I wonder if he's got a wet setup. Well, you really think so? On the chat. Well, I'll be honest. In terms of how little drivers finished the race in the ERO history, the one with the least finishers, of course, D1 official, we're not counting Xbox Season 5 or 3. Well, also telling that there will be no Xbox division in Season 7. But speaking about least drivers, in real Formula 1 it's 3, Monaco Grand Prix 1996, but you all know that. How about ERO? It's slightly better, very slightly, because it's 6 finishers in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix of ERO F5, which happened last season. Well, Baku is known also for chaotic Grand Prix, as Antonio Ginski goes 3.9. Mehmet has improved by 2 tenths, and he's in the 13th. Who are we looking at now? Is definitely not Jonas, but Solt Prohashka is on the way in Sector 2. He's got an Alpine or Williams right ahead of him, and it's Williams who's just letting him pass and complete the lap. As the Hungarian is about to complete his lap, he's 4.5. He's losing around 6/10 to the pole position at the moment. He's standing on his DRS and will go 5th at the moment, 4.2 seconds. Looking at Lars Berendt, he's currently around 10th down on his best lap time. But he's still pushing, he's on the 7th gear, he's gone very wide indeed. And got in his lap invalidated, as we were supposed to know. How about Kieran Underwood? He's invalidated as well. So with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go, I'll be honest with you, I cannot see a driver trying to make his lap. Is that from Ludwig Stahlberg? Line-only driver. He's currently in the Sector 2. And he's got his lap invalidated as well. As it's the Williams of Kieran going and turn 5, now turn 7 or 6, 7 it's now. If we obviously do not count the turn 2, which is a very mild left-hander before the heavy braking event. As Kieran invalidated his lap as well, so that's very interesting indeed. Loads of invalidations going here, especially in turns 9 and 1. As City de Boer has done the same actually. It's Henry Helkala now going for his lap. We'll see what's the difference for the Aston Martin driver, as he's going 3 tenths up at the moment, which puts him now around the 3rd place alongside Tony Millett on the grid. How will he go through the 3rd sector, as he's going 7th gear, 240 km per hour. The last one keeps it valid as he crosses line to get 2nd place with 0.3989. You can see the grid is very tight. Top 3 is within 70 thousandths of a second. And then Tony Millett is around 30 thousandths behind the 3rd place. So it's very close indeed. Now it's time for Jonas Plen, who's come back to the lobby after disconnection, to start his hot lap. As he's 10th up at the moment, looks like he's still in the 5th place. But if he keeps that going, and if he keeps improving, he could be looking for top 4 as well. As Tony Millett has gone 2 milliseconds slower than Mohamed Zurup in the 3rd place, which makes this race a very tight one indeed. You can see there's no big gaps going between the drivers. There's another improvement in the midfield, as there's a spin of Jonas Plen. He still got maybe that little bit of time to get around again, but first he has to let by all of the drivers who are behind him during his own hot lap. You can see he's going slowly, so I guess it's the end of the qualifying for him. Antonio Goniński goes slowly, so I think he's invalidated yet, and I remember he did. Henry Helkala is on the 30-yard zone. Time is up in the qualifying, as Martin Loeb in the Alfa Romeo, the Slovak, is the only one not to make a lap during this qualifying session. More and more drivers are finishing. We're looking at Mohamed Zurup, as he's still going. Will he try to improve? Will he improve his lap time? Will he get pole position? And he's already first race in ERO. as he's going to cross the line now and actually gets it with 3.894, which puts him on pole position at the moment. Henrik Alcala is now going for the last corner. Will he try to get that third place as well? He does not. He improves, definitely, by 18 milliseconds, so it's way too little in order to get at least that front row. Jonas Plan get his second chance. Doesn't give enough fuel, as you can see there's that red indicator which says you have little fuel, and there's a Ferrari right ahead, but he's gone out of the track. As Jonas goes through the finish line, well, he would be still on the 5th place. He would improve, but not enough to get at least 4th place. So I think the qualifying is over here at Spielberg, here in Austria. And that's it for today's qualifying. We have still a race, which, remember, will be started on the Inter tires. Which means we're going to see very big, very interesting strategic choices. Who cosplayed Grosjean on the main street as driver of the day? I have seen it being one of the Ferraris. Also, just a reminder to those people who don't have a flag, can you get one, please? Like Ludwig or Lars? Thank you. Anyway, speaking about the results of the qualifying, as you can see, they are very interesting indeed, as the gap between the 1st and 8th place is just less than 0.4 of a second. It's exactly 388 milliseconds. Mohamed Zarup is on the 1st place, then we've got Antonio Ginski, Henrik, and why have we gone instantly to the race? Oh, this game, I love it! I actually love this game. I'll be honest with you. I don't know, to be honest. I think it was Lars. Who's got that crash going. It was a huge one, definitely. But thankfully did not affect any of the drivers. Yes. Well, we are about to start the race, but looks like loading time is kind of long. I mean, can we get it going? Speaking about it, you can tell in the chat who is your favorite to win the race today. I know some of you already shared that, but like once again, will be very appreciated. As we are waiting for the lobby to start. And as you can see, it's Inter tires. Well, I wonder if anyone goes to the wets. But it looks like definitely Inter. We are waiting for the drivers to choose these strategies. I guess it's just sleeping in the point. That's all I ask for. Well, he can get going. Like 5.0 in the qualifying, as far as I'm aware, it was. As we have the formation lap without any kind of notification. Mohamed Zarup in the pole position, ahead of Antonio Ginski. Then we've got Aston Martin, Henrik Harkala, and his friend Tony Millis. They look forward to be teammates in any of the division. As Mohamed's gone very wide indeed, onto the grass as well. So well, definitely these tires are cold right now. But it shouldn't happen if he warms them up properly in time. 80 on the grid today, so we should see loads of good and clean racing. You cannot wait for the turn 1, but I hope they will keep it clean as they did on the PC division. It was very clean indeed, except from one man having loads of connection issues, but that's it. Heavy lockup there from Henry. As we are currently in the sector 3. We're about to start the Austrian Grand Prix. We're about to start the first race on PlayStation in Season 7. Well, definitely, you know it. It's round 0, but, well, it's still a race. The first round of 2022 here in Austria, which will be round 4 of Season 7's calendar. Just a quick reminder, before the race starts, there are only a couple of hours left to sign up to ERO for Season 7. Around 2.5 at the moment. So there's very little time, but you can get it going. It's just trial race in Russia with qualifying takes around an hour. Then 15 minutes each for Mexico and Spain wet. And you get decent lap times and you just sign up. How about the race now? As we're about to start the race here in Austria. The debut drivers Season 7 is about to go underway. We're waiting for lights to come out as there are green flags all around the track. I mean, I like the sponsors, but we want the lights. Hello? Well, if this keeps happening, we might have a lobby restarted, or I don't know what's going on, but everyone is on the grid. So I don't know what we are waiting for. Hello, the game? But it looks like not only the first race of the season, but also the first restart of the lobby this season. It may happen. It looks like it's an issue that it's lights off and we're going nowhere, and that's actually a great response to what happens on the track right now. Congratulations, Codemasters again? Or as Martin Loeb has left the session and looks like it doesn't work as well. The tire strategies are here. Sent by Pirelli, but I don't think we're racing right now. I think two people aren't ready. As we must restart the lobby, I guess. very interesting situation indeed. As you can see, Codemasters are not disappointing us with online services, or it's just connection issues from the drivers. I do not know. But what I can definitely say is we are stuck for the second minute going. And yup, that happened. So we will be switching to the technical issue. And well, this is still season 6 on the video, so I do not actually understand that. But might as well just forget about it. Well, sorry everyone, we must wait around 10 minutes to get the lobby going. We at least have the starting grid and the starting order and the weather for today's race. But we must wait for the race, definitely. As you can see, well, EA Sports it is. So, I guess we'll be back very soon. Well, replying to your comments, definitely a very nice race, but the predicted restart time is around 42 minutes, so it's like 7 minutes from now on. Well, what can I say? This game actually surprised us a couple of times. Thankfully, I don't remember any post moments of races from last season, and I hope it will not happen now as well. As at the moment, I must confirm the proper weather settings. Well, I can show you the state of the lobby right now. Like, we're currently doing the grid editor. Well, I see qualifying standings at the moment. As we'll be going from the top, it's Lekala, it's Tony Milliston, and it's Jonas Plen. Salt at the moment on the 4th. Matti Melli on the 7th, can't see him yet. Mentelson is 5th. Yep, that's Nürburgring. As you might know, at the Nürburgring 1999, we're witnessing some kind of checking who's actually cheating in terms of the race stats. Okay, we've got a new man in the lobby, and it's Mr. MotoGP. We've got Ludwig. Continuing. Behind Mentelson, Jakobsen, Lunoyehe. Then Sleepy Jimmy, Lars Berendt. Kaiser Kenzie. Matti 7th, so right behind It's My Dust. We've got nearly everyone now editing the grid. As it's Paul Jakobsen now, who's joining ahead of Lunoyehe. Lars Kaiser, Boemen Sitze, Tiboe, Bastian, Schwistak, and nice job. Okay, MotoGP, Lekala, Amilberg, Aldrich, Itmaidast, Matimeli, Mentelson, Jakobsen, Luneche, Sleepy Jimmy, Lars, Kaiser, Boemen, Sitze. Yep, Bastian Schwistak, nice job, mate. And I'm not racing, I haven't picked spectator yet. Just a second so I can invite in person. Putting myself spectator so I don't accidentally race. And we'll put him on the pole position. So I guess we're doing class check. Mocht Zorop, Monster MotoGP, Lekala Milberg, Aldrich Afvist, Eat My Dust, Matimeli Mental, Son Jakobsen. Lunojeche, Sleepy Jimmy, Rasberend, Kaiser, Kenzie, Boemen, Zitze, Bastian, Świstak, and nice job mate. That's the entire grid for today. So, I guess we're about to start the race. As somebody has been clicking spectator for an incident. As it sits at the boa, we're doing once again. As Zitze was on position number 15. They are about to ready up the grid. And yep. I can see very big of the Finnish support on the chat for like of Kenny Herkal and Tony Millis. I hope you will stay until the end of this live stream. We've already got some trouble going on here, but I hope it's going well now. It's the interweather. It's again for 15 minutes. At least the first bar. You could see that on the stream, I guess. Or I don't remember. Definitely it's on the chat of the debut drivers race. Which means we are racing after so much trouble. I expected everything from this game, but not this, like multiple drivers being stuck. It was always the issue of one. We are waiting for players to get in their strategies. As the first one has given a signal, which means we are going in less than 30 seconds. It's definitely 20 now. So we're looking to a race now. We're looking to a race. We're looking after so long. Definitely Michael Masi and his red flag didn't help us. But we've got it going. It's formation lap before the Austrian Grand Prix. As you can see, the grid is all correct. I can definitely confirm that. Just doing class checks. Yup, it's all good. We did not miss a single detail as Mohamed Zeroup is on pole position, and I hope this time I will not build the tense and build the emotions before the start of this Grand Prix, just to realize we're stuck again. And I hope this will not happen now. I'll be honest with you, because if that happens, we might be as well cancelling the race. I'll be honest with you. This is part of the rules that one restart due to issues can only happen. As Bastian Vries has already been disqualified with Sidze the Bauer. So cold tires for the race they are having. As you can see now, Mohamed Zerub is about to approach the grid. He's definitely the first car. You can see around top 6, 7 being way ahead of everyone. The rest of the field is backing up around in the sector 3. You can see it right below the number into turn 9. But we are now looking to have a race around Spielberg. 36 laps ahead of us, and I hope this time we will not have to get stuck yet again, because if this happens, it's going to end very badly for the lobby itself. I can see one of the Alpines having a little bit of issues. But that's it. And I hope this time it... Well, we can at least see who's about to start. Matti Meli and Zitze are having issues. We're having this time Matthias Orhan being stuck. Or actually making us stuck all over again. This time it's Spa 2021. Oh, we're going, as Matthias Orhan has disconnected. And this lets us go with the Austrian Grand Prix. It's lighter than the way we go. We didn't wait for long. Before the lights started to go out, we had to wait. As you can see, there's loads of wheel spinning in the midfield. But it's Mohamed Zerub who takes the lead and keeps the lead of the race. Down after turn 1, there's loads of free whites and there's a Red Bull having a major moment, but thankfully he's gone into a ghost. So, no crash around here at the moment. You can see there's loads of position changes in the midfield as Antonio Ginski is about to be overtaken by Jonas Plan. No, he is not. He's about to take the lead otherwise, as he's got the first place ahead of Mohamed Zerub. They are going side by side into turn 4 and looks like the McLaren is going to be the one ahead. He misses his braking point, pushes Mohamed off the track, and the AlphaTauri is losing a couple of places. He's now 4th at the moment after the start. It was a great getaway, but it wasn't the cleanest battle we've seen. We've got a couple of incidents in real life where drivers kept pushing each other off the track. But it was under dry conditions. In wet, it can be kind of unstable. There is longer braking points and stuff. But anyways, it's Antonio Ginski after lap 1 who's leading the Grand Prix. But he's chased down by Jonas Plan and actually the rest of the field. Looks like there might be a Mercedes going to the box. It's Maximilian Śmigowski going into the pits, probably to change his front wing. But we're looking at the Williams of Jonas Plan about to take the lead as he's going way quicker, even though he's got a little bit more of that ERS. He might go around the outside of the pole. And is he going to take that lead? Not yet. You can see he's been pushed a little bit wide and he doesn't lose the place. He's still in the second, but Tony Miller is about to fight him on the second. It's nearly a free wide, no, as it's McLaren way ahead. And it stays the same after turn 4. As you can see, Jonas Plan has decided to race with too little fuel, and if there's no safety car, it might be very bad for him in terms of actually fuel saving. The short shifting doesn't work well. There is no lean fuel mix unless there's a safety car or an issue, but it's a carry mode stuff. But speaking of at the moment, wow! Actually, as you can see, Martin Loeb has gone from from last to 7th. He's done a really great job escaping from all of that mess going on in the midfield. And as you can see, he's on the 7th place. Well, there's already a first penalty of 6 at the bar, but I will not spoil them later on. Position change, he's 11 positions up. What a great drive on the first laps of the race. And he's chasing after Mendelssohn, who's on the 6th. And it looks like he might be able to make a move on him. He's around 2 tenths behind. As Mendelssohn's got a little bit wide. Martin's going to the right side of the track. There is yellow flags in the sector 1, and I think that's Zitze being spun around. As the Alpha Tauri of, it's actually Paweł Mieszczak, the Mendelssohn, the Polish driver, fighting against the Slovak for the 7th place, as Matthias Rohan tries to rejoin the lobby. He's currently in the 13th place as a ghost, which is set on AI level of 41. As Antonio Ginski goes for the fastest lap with 14.007, so we're very close to the 13th. Remember, there is going to be a dry weather, so if you get a fastest lap on these conditions, as Ludwig Stahlberg is out of the race. In Sector 3, he's crashed out on the last corner, and we've got a full safety car already on lap 4. Well, it doesn't look like the best beginning, as we've got first safety car, first time Bernd Mailander goes on the track. And I hope he will not stay longer than he's supposed to go in. As I think Matthias Rohan has finally rejoined the lobby, and he's kind of safe due to that safety car. Yeah, he is back in racing. That must have been temporary issues. As Anthony does not go to the pit. There's no reason to go to the pit at the moment. I wonder what does Jeff say about the weather, because it may dry out in around 10 to 15 minutes. As you could see, it was set to be the first bar going wet. As here is Bernd Mailander, and we will be cruising right behind his red Mercedes. Currently there is 10 drivers being right behind him, 2 more on the way. There is also a couple more behind him. As Antonio Ginski keeps the lead ahead of Fiona's Plan, Tony Millas and Mohamed Zerub. This is the top 4. Mohamed Zerub has been pushed wide off the track by Antonio Ginski, but he's still in the 4th place. He still looks to fight back, especially when the DRS comes in and will have dry conditions. Well, it's in about 10 laps, I guess. And so we'll be definitely having one more lap behind Bernd Mailander. It hasn't stopped raining yet, and it will not anytime soon. But the moment it stops raining is the one drivers are looking for, as Mohamed Zerub gets hit the wall after the last corner, already on the main straight. Too much of a wheel spin cost him going there, and I hope he has got no damage. I think the damage is very minimal, but it is. As we are waiting for Maximilian Śmigowski on the last place, the Mercedes. He's on the 17th place, and we are actually waiting for him to join the pack. As Mohamed goes with, well, why do I keep saying sector times? Anyways. I wonder if he has that damage. It could be, as Matthias Urhan and Cincy the Bear both are getting 5-second time penalties for colliding with each other. I could solve for that milliseconds. And it doesn't disappear. Did it happen for the second time? I must check this out, as safety car is in this lap. Well, I'm not supposed to spoil the penalties, but I will do so, and it's 10 seconds for Matthias Urhan. As Antonio Ginski leads the way. He's right behind Berberlander. He does not let him go. Now he's slowing down a bit. And he's about to start racing right now. It's one of the earliest restarts possible. Very slow down, very much slowing down indeed. And I think it's time to go and race here in Austria. Well, if he decides to go braking very late after the line, as he's racing, we're racing yet again. Here in Spielberg, 5-second time penalty there for Bastian Rees. But it's Martin Loeb going for that 6th place already, being 12 places up the field since the start of this Grand Prix. But we are looking at the top 2, as it's Jonas Penn now fighting Antonio Ginski into turn 3. He goes around the outside, the McLaren keeps the inside, he's going a little bit wide, it might damage his position. He might get lost, he might lose the battle and get into second place. He's right ahead of the Williams. They side by side into the 4th corner of this Red Bull ring. As we are going to see Antonio yet again on the outside, yet again. Very little push. And Sonny Miller is now going around the outside of Jonas. Trying to take that second place. They're side by side. They will to will for a 2nd corner in a row. And it looks like the one prevailing at the moment is the Williams, who will be looking to try again to attack the McLaren. As I can see one of the Alpines going very slow indeed, and it's Matthias Urhan who's gone on the soft tires. And it stopped raining actually. Well, definitely it isn't dry enough to think about. It's actually wet. It's not dry enough. It's actually wet. Which means he's losing loads of time. You can see he's already 33 seconds behind Maximilian and Zitze, as it's Jonas Penn taking the lead from Antonio Ginski. Will he try to go around the outside? Down the inside he will try. And he's doing the move. And he's now ahead of the Williams, not yet, as Jonas got a little bit of a slide, but it didn't have any of the consequences. It's now Williams actually in the lead of the race. But I wonder now, it looks like it stops raining, but it will be water on track for a couple of laps, I guess, which means when the drivers will go to the pits. Let's see the tires of the back of the field. These ones are the deciding ones. It's only Matthias Urhan on this soft. He keeps losing the time. Well, if he keeps gaining it, if he starts to gain it, he will. Well, if it starts to dry out, he will gain time, and it will be definitely time to go for the softs, the rest of the field. But right now he's about to be lapped. As you can see, Antonio Ginski, the man who is on the 2nd place, he is 1 corner behind the Alpine. And I wonder if going on the softs and going for the another stop is the greatest strategy. We'll see. Definitely there might be a safety car changing the race. But at the moment, they're just going in the field peacefully. As Jonas gets the fastest lap of the race by a second, by the entire seconds in the sector 2 already. And I wonder, well, Matthias keeps losing, so it isn't time yet. As he's losing a very big time. They're already on the same straight, so the Alpine driver might be lapped. As Lars gets 3-second time penalty, Jonas has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. And we must mention that it is so far. Because as you can see, the weather is drying. Well, the track is drying, not the weather. There's already no rain going on the track. As the Alpine, yep, about to be lapped by the Williams. And I don't get these connection issues, definitely. But the leader of the race is using loads of ERS in order to get away yellow flags, and it's Alpine. And it's Alpine of Mattimelli. So just being clapped. So I wonder at the moment what time to pit, because, well, our man who doesn't experiment for it is on the last place and is already lapped, and he keeps losing. So definitely isn't the time to pit. Well, we'll see into turn 9, he's lost another second. So it's still enters yellow flags in sector 2, and it's a Red Bull of Zitze de Boer, who's used himself to track, and we could see that on the minimap. And that's a 5-second time penalty if it's reported. Already the gap between Anthony and Jonas is around 7 to 8 tenths of a second. Now it's 7. But what I can see definitely is less and less water on the track. And, no, don't get confused, it's an effect of the spin made by Zitze, and also a wing damage might happen. But Zitze is about to be lapped as well. So very interesting indeed. As soon as slightly gets ahead and ahead and ahead, and he goes away. From the rest of the field. Actually, with Antonio Oginski right behind him, keeping on his tail, they both get away from the rest of the field. Zitze de Boer is in the pits, and I guess it might be a front wing change. And I guess it would be time this, or in the next lap, to go into the pit for the dry tires, and we'll see the driver's strategic choices, because you can go for the mediums, which is possible, definitely, but you might get that indicator spin in the sector 2, and it's one of the Ferraris, it's Lars Berendt, who's back on the track on the position number 14, so he lost a lot out there, but broadcast, can we get a better camera, please? As Paweł Mieszczak gets ahead of Mehmet Duranovic, who's got no front wing. So there must have been some sort of a collision between the Haas and the Ferrari. Well, on the bright side, you can go to the soft or medium tires and risk it. As he's now overtaken by everyone who was close to the leader. Mehmet Duranovic goes to the pits. Well, crossed the white line technically, but I can understand that with the broken wing. Now he's going to the pits, and we'll see if he stays on the inters, if it's still wet enough for the inters, or we're going on the dry tires. Physical tap and it was into the Boer. What we can say definitely, this man still got a chance. As he's going to put... Are you serious now? Are you going with the wet? That's the race over, I guess. Unless there's a quick safety car going on. But if you put the wet tires... Yep, he's done the wet tires. Like, this strategy is definitely not going to work. And he spins round, loses a wing again. Well, it was predictable with these tires on this condition. Like, come on. He keeps going, he's lucky not to get the NF as Polyakovs and his teammate gets a 3-second time penalty. Luckily enough, luckily enough, the rest of the field is going to pit. So I believe there's still a chance for him, but... well, we might get know what happened later on. As there's completely no rain on the track. I can still see some raindrops going here and there, like they are not raindrops, this is just water, as Paul Jakobsen is the one spinning it again. Or Kieran Underwood, it's Paul, he's got no front wing. So double disaster for the Haas drivers, and I wonder if it came from a spin or from a collision. Because at the moment, well, it looks like both cars have to go to the pits as Mehmet is already being lapped. On the bright side, if he goes on the slick tires, he might gain a lot. But looking at Matthias Orhan, he is gaining, but the only reason of gaining, well, he'll be gaining properly from now on as DRS is enabled. As this time, Mehmet goes on the hard tires. And this is his only chance to actually not get lapped it again. Right with him have pitted Martin Loh and Henrik Hilkala, mediums and mediums. Paul Jakobsen, teammate of the Bosnian and has gone for the medium tires. Lars is pitting now, so we'll get to know about his strategic choice later. But we'll be switching to the top, as I wonder what Jonas Plan has in plan. And he is going to the pit alongside the McLaren of Antonio Giniski, who's going to stay out. I guess nobody is going to stay out. The top 5 is already in the pit. As well, that was a bit of a luck from my remote play, but Paweł Mieszczak has gone to the pits. Antonio Giniski has pitted, gets his tires going. He's not going to be ahead of Jonas Plan, but the entire top 9 has pitted, and I wonder how many positions will Henry Helkala gain or Martin Loeb. They might be ahead of Red Bull of Stol Prochazka, and they will be ahead of the Red Bull. On the 4th and 5th place respectively, they are ahead of the men who are fighting for the race win, and Mohamed Zurab goes for the dive inside, and they made contact with Zsolt Prochazka, but thankfully no major consequences of that one. Yellow flags and victory are caused by a Red Bull of Zitze de Boer. I wonder if there's anyone who stayed on the Inter tires. Well, there's nobody, everyone is on slicks. As looks like Mehmet has got a little bit of trouble, he's going to be lapped by Alpha Tauri. And I think that's Mendelssohn. As I must go to the 4th place because it looks like it did happen. Jonas Plan's got a major mistake going on. There's so many mistakes during this crossover period. There's so many spins. And one of the victims is Jonas Plan, who's dropped into 5th place. As Martin Loeb and Henry Helkala are going to the 4th and 3rd. Red Bull is going to be lapped, and it's into the Boa. As in lap 17 we've got a yellow flag, and I believe, yeah, that is one of the Ferraris, and it's going to be Lars Berend, who's trying to recover. He keeps going, so it might be just a pure spin. As 1.8 seconds, the gap between the fastest lap from Tony Millis, and he's 1.8 seconds up. So you can see there's a difference between the Inters and the slicks. You know that already. But I can see these conditions being clearly dry, even with a couple of water drops here and there. it's full dry tires. As you can see, everyone is going for the fastest lap at the moment until Jonas' plan. As Mehmet gets 3-second time penalty. Same as Martin Loeb did. The DRS is enabled, but Antonio Ginski is enough ahead to prevent himself, to prevent the rivals from getting DRS. So, well, we're literally with Tony. Point of view. So right now, 8/10 of a gap, 7/10 of a gap. So Tony gets DRS anyways, and he'll be chasing after the McLaren. We're halfway through the race. We're into lap 19. And I wonder which strategy pays the most. Well, everyone's on the medium tires, so there is nothing through. There's no difference between the strategies. No difference. Maybe except some of the drivers going one lap early. But that's it. Mohamed Zurup with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. As Tony Millis is half a second behind Anthony. And if he stays with ERS, he might try to make a move on the next lap. As he's already 4/10 behind, 3/10 behind. He's getting quicker and quicker compared to the McLaren. As we've got a second safety car of the race. That's Lars Berendt being spun round and crashed on the left side of the track. Oh, that's a very big crash from the Ferrari. I wonder if anyone changes their strategies and goes to softs, for example. Goes to pit for softs. And I think Jonas' plan might be the one as he hit the wall. He's broken way too late and threw his front wing on the way to the pits, so definitely doesn't pay off at the moment. Is there anyone to go to the pit cruise? Mehmet Uranovic for the medium tires, I guess. Antonio Ginski and the front of the field have already caught the safety car. So as long as everyone is here on the queue, we'll be restarting the race yet again. But it's a safety car number 2 of this race. Well, I have been speaking. Well, let's use this time because I need to clear something up. I actually clear some things. Because I was mentioning about the least finishers in ERO history, and it was 6 finishes in Season 6 Azerbaijan Grand Prix in a 5 division. But that's correct. But we have not counted the debut drivers race of Season 6, where only 4 drivers crossed the line. Well, that was a new game. New setups. Completely new physics. Physics of the car, of braking, for example. And this... well, this didn't end up well, with 4 drivers retiring on lap 1, or actually on 1 corner. And it's called the Yorush. Because it was the Belgian Grand Prix. This time we're in Austria. Only 2 DNFs so far, and I hope it stays this way. As I can confirm, Jonas' plan has gone on the soft tires. And has gone with the risky, but a very quick strategy. Well, he'll be quick for the first couple of laps. Then, we'll have to see. Bastian Vries and Paul Jakobsen have decided to go on the mediums, same as Mehmet Uranovic and Matthias Orhan. As we are waiting for all drivers to get to the queue and get racing. One of them is already a lap down, comparing to the driver ahead of him. Not a lap down compared to the rest of the field. As if Mehmet Duranovic did not go to the wet tires on his pit stop, he would be fighting for something and definitely get some sort of a recovery drive. Maximilian Śmigowski is already lapped as well. We are waiting for Paliakos, who's joined the pack, and it means safety car is in this lap as Matthias Orhan gets a 5-second time penalty for collision with Zitze. And I'll be honest with you at this point, I wonder if he actually gets to the league with this internet connection. Thankfully we've got that debut driver's race to check driver's connections. We're now focusing at the moment on Antonio Giski getting away on the restart, and he's already 8 tenths ahead of Tony Millis and Henry Helkala from each of those, as he clearly leads the restart. I do not see any moves on the way, maybe except Jonas' plan. Kind of aggressive driving because he might be going for that 9th place. He's got the soft tires, he's definitely a couple of tenths quicker. Already at the first lap, he's going down the inside of his teammate, and he gets the move with a very beautiful camera. We could see they left each other loads of space, or maybe it was the teammate letting the other one by. We don't know, but definitely Jonas is after at least top 5 result today. That has been very risky. He gambled. He's doing well at the moment. He's on the 8th place anyways because of Bohemian's penalty. And he is going to make a move into turn 9. No, I don't think so. But he's going to make the one into... It could have been the very next corner. Lots of little bit of time. But now he's using overtake and he's going side by side with the Aston Martin. Gets ahead. And he's on the 8th place. Next target, or actually the next 2 targets, are both AlphaTauris. He also needs to remember to save some bit of that ERS. He's got the tire advantage. With 2 laps old softs, they're definitely quicker than 6 laps old mediums. As we'll be looking at the leaders of the race, Tony Milles and Antonio Giski are very close to each other, so this restart did help to keep the lead, but not to gain any kind of advantage, as Tony will have DRS on the next lap if nothing happens in terms of any incidents or spins. We're at the last 2 corners of this Austrian track, and we're having DRS enabled on this lap. Not in this current zone, but on the next one. We will see Milberg using this rear wing in order to get less downforce, which means more speed on the straight. Less drag from the air, but he doesn't use ERS, and he might go for a move around the outside. He's nearly alongside Paul, but he is not overtaking him yet. Now he's using ERS, and now he's chasing. He's 2 tenths down at the moment. Will he try to make the move around the outside? This time he makes the one, but it's Anthony keeping his first place still. This time it's been a very decent defensive driving. This might have been a little bit close, but still no contact made, and they are still of the same order. It looks like also Jonas Penn has overtaken Paweł Mieszczak, which means he's now on the 7th place. Now he's after this entire DRS train. Tony Milles on the way to try the move once again on lap 25 of this Austrian Grand Prix. And he makes the contact and loses the entire front wing after the collision of Antonio, and he's causing a free wide moment. I don't know what happened there, but it might be reported. I will be honest with you, I don't know what to think about it, as Zolprogashka makes the move, gets from that chaos, and tries to get 2nd place fighting with Mohamed Zurub. He's now side by side, not side by side, but right behind the AlphaTauri. He's going for the move down the inside, and he nearly touched with the McLaren, who's on the lead. There's 2 side by side battles on the way, as Henry Helkala goes onto the grass, loses the place. Also to Jonas Plan, who's using the chaos, and also 2 places up. As I thought, Martin Lopez on the way to make a move, but he's the one to be overtaken by Jonas Kern in the 4th place. I said top 4 is possible, top 5 is possible for the Danish, but he's on the 4th place already and looking after the lead of the race probably. Coming 2 or 3 laps. As it's Mohamed Zroup fighting Antonio Ginski yet again. They made no contact this time. Yellow flags in sector 3. They're side by side into turn 3. And who will be the one on top? It's going to be the AlphaTauri ahead into the heavy braking point. But Sol Prokashka tries to make a move and makes contact with the AlphaTauri yet again. So you have to calculate your moves. Especially when they're heavy braking events. And he might lose a place to Jonas Plan. As Mohamed Zroup is now clearly on the lead of the pack. 7 drivers are fighting for the victory on this race. As these two are side by side. Down into turn 7, which is very risky. They made contact. They still the first 2 places. Until Jonas Plan decides to make a move. He's down the inside of Mohamed. He might have touched wheels. He might have banged wheels with Mohamed. But he will have the RS again. And it's Anthony who does not. He's using a little bit of weaving on the track. And he'll be going around the outside. They have to be very careful with the braking. There's a couple of contacts. In that chaos, Mohamed Zroup clearly takes the lead of the race at the moment. And Anthony, I think he will not make any moves down the inside. He's way too far to even think about it. But that's Sol Prokashka doing one. Well, this race has gone very exciting indeed. But these contacts, this chaos, might have made Jonas losing the lead of the potential win of the race, as he's got no right end plate, which means he has to go to the pits and change his sizes. Here on the route has spun as well. Fanny Melis is chasing after the rest of the field because you can see definitely. First of all, Antonio Ginski, that's a penalty, but there's so much chaos, he will regain a couple of places anyway. As Jonas is already overtaken into 8th place, he goes down into the pits for another soft compound tire. We'll be switching back to the leaders, but Mohamed Zroup has got no penalties. And this is why Antonio has to overtake him as soon as possible and try to get away by at least 3 seconds in order to win this race, because you can see he has a penalty. He goes around the outside of the AlphaTauri at the moment, but he fails to make a move. He's still got the RS, which means he gets that power. He is ahead now, clearly into turn 4. They bang wheels as well, as now he goes right ahead of the AlphaTauri driver, and he's now clearly in the 1st place. So right now we are having a top 3 of Antonio Ginski, Mohamed Zroup and Martin Loeb on track. But if we took the penalties, we have Mohamed Zroup win the race ahead of Henry Herkala and Paweł Mieszczak on the AlphaTauri. As we've got yellow flags in the sector 3, and that's a Red Bull. That's a Red Bull of Sol Prokashka. Does not go to the pit, so no damage, just a spin. As Martin Lopez after the AlphaTauri, and he goes to the 2nd place, and he might be going for the lead of the race. If he goes for a move down the outside, he does so. He's alongside the McLaren, and he loses the place. He loses the lead definitely, because he was there for a very slight moment, a split second. He's got no DRS, which means we are having the top 3 on the same order. We'll be going on lap 30 very soon of this Austrian Grand Prix. From now on, the sign-ups last only for 95 more minutes. Just a reminder for you all. Two-tenths of a gap is between Mohamed Zroup and Martin Loeb. We'll be definitely looking at the battle for the 2nd place. Well, I don't know what to think about the incident between Monster MotoGP and Milberg. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how he did lose the entire wing on that one. as Martin Loeb has DRS. And he might look for an attack. He's got a little bit of that ERS. And he goes for a move around the outside. He is fighting for the lead. And he stays behind yet again. But he'll be looking for a move down the inside or around the outside of the pole. And Antoni goes for the move down the inside. But he fails to get the lead of the race. And he will be the one behind at the moment. Paul Jakobsen has gone to 6th place as I saw. Neither of these two are at the moment on the podium. Because they have those time penalties which make them not getting the podium. Simple as that. Well, I laughed at it, I'll be honest. Merberg being Bottas. Well, I hope not. As Antonio Ginski goes down the inside, makes contact with the Slovak, and look who's on the lead of the race. This time it's Mohamed Zroup. Clearly, by 3/10. He doesn't give it to ERS because there's no chance of making a move down the inside or around the outside. He's now in the lead of the race. If he uses that ERS, he's ahead. And will be trying to get away on the rest of the lap. Chaos here in Austria. As we also see a battle for position number 7 between Bastian Vries and Boyman V. Benga, and it's the Ferrari driver, Bastian, who's gone ahead. As I could see, Mohamed Zroup getting 3-second time penalty, same with Antonio Ginski. We're going to lap 32 of this Grand Prix at the moment, and at this moment, I very much wonder who's going to win the race. As Martin Loeb gets a moment, thankfully does not touch the wall and does not lose control of wing. More and more penalties are being given to the drivers. Well, we'll see after the incident reports. This is kind of the race where we are looking at the drivers' racecraft and how they behave in the pack when they are actually racing. So the top 3 have got penalties. The next 2 drivers who have got no penalties are in the DRS, and as you can see, Mehmet Duranovic might unlap himself on the last laps because he's got DRS. He looks like he will not be listening to the blue flags. He's after unlapping himself actually. He's got 1.5 seconds from being unlapped. Paul Jakobsen gets 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So we've got only 3 drivers with no penalties. As you can see, there's a fight for the lead of the race. Mohamed Zroup does the same Antoni did to him. But Antoni makes the switchback, and it's a lovely switchback into the lead of the race. Now he's on the lead of the race. Now he's in the first place. Now he can control the field for the next couple of corners until the next 3 DRS straights. As we've got yellow flags, Mehmet Duranovic is out of the race, but because it's a virtual safety car. But this kind of full one. Are you serious? We're getting a full safety car. We're getting 2 laps of racing on the last 2 laps. So, at the moment, this is a very major plot twist to this Grand Prix. As Antoni goes to the pits for the soft tires. Mohamed stays on the track. Martin as well. Henry does the same, so it's only Antoni and Bastian who are going for the salt, and same as Zsolt Procházka. For those who have their race ruined, they can still fight in the top 12. Lots of 3-second time penalties. Mohamed Zroup is now in the lead of the pack. I wonder if Antoni will actually get into the first place, get fighting with guys. And at this moment, I wonder if the rest of the field will make it to the front, because as you can see, to the queue, because it's only the top 7 currently who will be racing for the lead. I think Jonas will join that as well. But we are having 2 last laps of the race, of the Austrian Grand Prix underway. As it's only 2 drivers with no penalties, and it's Henry Helkal and Paweł Mieszczak. These 2 are going to deal with themselves about the race win. Because I don't think we are having no DRS for these 2 laps. Safety car is in, we're racing for last 2 or like 8 kilometers of racing. We're having 4 miles of action. It's going to be Mohamed Zerut in the lead of the race. Paul Jakobsen fights Paweł Mieszczak into turn 3 at the moment. They are nearly side by side. Looks like both are giving it everything in terms of DRS. Also in the lead, there might be a change, because there might be a swap, because it's Martin Loeb ahead of the AlphaTauri, who's gone into first place at the moment. Still, it's side by side between the drivers fighting with the 4th place of Paweł Mieszczak and Paul Jakobsen. The Norwegian driver is going to go down the inside and makes the clean pass. Makes it going, and he's now ahead of the AlphaTauri. But AlphaTauri is fighting back, not yet it looks like. It's Antonio Ginski right behind him, and he's making the move for the 5th. So this soft might fade out, as we are looking for the move for the 4th place by the pole, and he makes it going as well. He had a time penalty on the way, but he makes it. Well, the penalties are going to swap places a lot in this race, as Zsolt Procházka gets ahead of Paweł Mieszczak as well. This is a podium, not even a race win, but a podium out of their hands of the pole. As Zsolt is on the way to fight Paul Jakobsen into the 3rd corner, and he makes it going. He's around the outside. Paul goes deep and keeps his space at the moment, but you can see nearly 4 wide going on here. And I think that's a 3 wide at least, to say the least. It's very chaotic here. If somebody crashes, it's definitely because of not enough space for the 5 cars. But Zsolt Procházka way ahead of everyone who will be about to finish on the 5th place on the track. So Martin Loeb on the track wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Well, he's 1 corner to go. Antonio Ginski goes 3rd, ahead of Henry Helkala. And it's the Slovakian driver to win the race. But Henry Helkala is the one to win it after penalties. What an Austria Grand Prix this has been, I'll be honest with you all. Well, they produced loads of racing, loads of incidents. But 14 drivers finished, 12 without being lapped. But the chaos of the late safety car changed everything. As Tony Millis crosses the line and goes currently in position number 12. Well, he's 20 seconds behind, so I don't think he will be any ahead, any positions above P12. Well, if this has been brake checks, not just casual racing line, because remember, Anthony are actually Mr. MotoGP, is racing with no line. So it might be an issue of braking point. But if it's clear brake check, he's not let in, I'll be honest. But Henry Helkala wins the race, gets 5 points to Season 7 recruitment. Martin Loeb the 2nd gets 3 more points to the recruitment, and Mohamed Zerut gets 1. And in terms of results for the Austrian Grand Prix, that's not it, because this definitely will get reviewed. So we're having only 2 drivers with no penalties. And it's Henry Hakala and Paweł Mieszczak on the 4th. 15 seconds to go of the session. Well, the conference is going to be very short. Actually, it's going to be just me saying, well, there were lots of incidents. And I guess that's it for today's Austrian Grand Prix. Definitely eventful race. Rain makes it up. Late safety car made it up, mix it up. But we've seen loads of action here in Austria. And I think that's it for today's stream. I hope you enjoyed that one. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you did so. Yeah, please Polish. And pray for Tony because, well, that wasn't the best ending for him. But for now, we're finishing this, and I guess, well, the fact I'm Polish doesn't change a thing. I'll be honest with you. All I know, he's going no assists. And race today, and, well, definitely going to be reported, I guess, by someone. So, thank you for watching, and signups are ending in less than 1.5 hours. So, goodbye, and we will see you on the grid reveal, which is happening 6th January in terms of PC and 8th in terms of PlayStation. So, goodbye, and we'll see you.